Hey everybody, welcome to McFarland Minutes. I'm Natalie McFarland, founder and president of McFarland Productions, director at Off Your Rocker Films, and your host. In these episodes, you can expect deleted scenes, in-depth campaign reviews, project highlights, marketing concepts, book reviews, and a deep dive into the creative process at Off Your Rocker Films. We'll also be covering invaluable lessons on mentorship, leadership, and the business of it all. We are so excited to be releasing our episodes every Sunday as your soft launch to Monday. Hey guys, welcome to McFarland Minutes, your soft launch to Monday, February 1st. We are kicking off month 2 of the year. Wild. I can't believe that we're already a month into 2026. At the beginning of 2026, for the first episode, we talked a lot about putting together what are your goals for this year for your business, and what does that look like from a marketing perspective, and maybe what does 2026 bring change, and does the calendar flip really make a difference? I talked about that on a solo podcast. Today's podcast is also a solo podcast. I'm going to hang out here for just a few minutes. We're not actually going to spend a whole lot of time in the podcast today, because what I want you to do is take the time to go through what I'm about to show you. So you guys might follow me on LinkedIn. You've probably noticed that over the last, just about a year now, I've been a LinkedIn nerd. I live on the platform quite a bit now. I post a lot. I give a lot of information. We had some really great hiring response from our LinkedIn. LinkedIn has become my favorite platform, but on my personal LinkedIn, one of the things that I did at the beginning of the year was I shared with you guys what our executive team sprint looks like, which we do between Christmas and New Year's every year, right? That's the dead week. Nobody's really wanting to talk to anybody, right? Especially in a year like 2025, where you've got both holidays in the middle of the week. That was super weird, right? Something that I didn't love about that was that you had a weekend, and then you had 2 days, and then you had the day off for the holiday, and then you had a day, and then you had a weekend, and then so you never really got in any kind of a flow. So something that we did, instead of trying to enforce hours or actually work normal hours and that sort of thing, I mean, we got lots done client wise, but we really set ourselves up to be able to spend between Christmas and New Year's 5 days of strategic planning. And we do this sort of twice a year, right? We've talked about our strategic planning meetings before. We talk about how they're team wide. We do them in the summer. We bring everybody together. We still do that, right? This is more like the executive team of our business coming through and saying, are we still hitting our business goals, right? Are we still targeting the right people? Are we still clear on who we're serving? Are we still with our mission, right? We spend some time as the executive team, meaning 5 days, where over each day we spend some time focusing on some specific piece of the business, right? This is an overarching business health check, if you will. So, what I did this year is I took what we've been doing for years and I turned it into a form. So on LinkedIn, back to my LinkedIn point, over the first, 5 or so business days, it might have been a little bit more than that, might have been 10 business days of the year, I shared one piece at a time of this. But I got such a good response about this, especially particular pieces, and I got lots of DMs and things, that I feel like I need to share this form with those of you who are business owners, with those of you that are executives. This could be used really for any size business. I think it probably fits mid-size to small size the best, because it's a form that you can kind of do stream of consciousness through a shared Google Doc through your executive team, and everybody can contribute and comment and add to. And the theory is each year you're actually revising the form, right? You're going to save each copy, but you're going to revise the form to make sure that it still fits you for the following year. So day 1, I've kind of given each one of these a name, right? So day 1, you're going to lock in the direction. You're going to spend a day creating vision for the business for the next year, right? Ideally, it's the same vision you've been running, right? But maybe you didn't write it down. So the point of this is that I'm going to spend some time writing it down. Day 2, we're going to sharpen our offer, right? This is where we're going to focus on sales. What are we really trying to offer people that is solving a problem for the year of 2026? And is it the same problems we were solving in previous years? Maybe previous years there's some automation or establishment or whatever it is. Maybe it's not quite as much of a problem anymore. So what are we really selling, and what problem are we really solving? That's sharpening the offer. Day 3. This is going to be authority and inbound, right? What the heck are we going to do in order to bring inquiries to our table? What are we going to do to build the business this year to hit the wild numbers that we set in probably day 1, to try to hit those revenue and those net income goals, right? What are we going to do to hit the net income goals in order to hit the goals of team growth for us, higher salaries for us, bringing in a better quality of life, providing better careers, building our internal team up. Part of that is a better net income, right? You got to have the money in order to offer better careers. So that's something that we always focus on. We also want to be able to offer more and more benefits as years go on. We've got some cool ones. We've definitely gotten a little creative with some of our benefits, but always looking to make it better for our team, right? We're also always looking to make it better for our clients, right? So if we're a healthier company, we can better support companies that we are supporting. Okay, day 3, authority and inbound. How are we attracting people? That's how is our visibility? What is our visibility going to look like online? Day 4, operational cleanup. What the heck have we subscribed to, right? I use this all the time, death by subscription, right? You like, I feel like this is like pretty apparent in the apps that are coming out. I can't think of the name of it, but where you can like put in, I think it's like your personal information, and it'll scan all the accounts you have and tell you like where your money is going from a subscription standpoint and allow you to cancel those things. We're basically doing that, right? Where can we cut the fat? Where have we subscribed to things that are not serving us anymore? Do we have too many tools? Do we need more tools? Or is there equipment that we need? Is there somewhere that we are leaking income, right? So that is day 4. So the other thing is going to be what SOPs do we need to make, right? I am a standard operating procedure type of person. We have developed many of them. Turns out marketing is a little bit tough to have too many standard operating procedures, right? Because each client we deal with a little bit differently, but there's a lot of things in our business, internally, our processes, that if we can write an SOP for it, people are able to understand it. We do a video for it as well so that you can actually see what it is that I'm doing. If we have these SOPs, there's a whole lot less questions. People can refer back. Maybe it's been a minute since they did a task, whatever it is. Really gives them a direction. So operational cleanup is day 4, all the things like that. Day 5, and that's a list, right? We're not actually going to do all the SOPs in one day. That's a little wild, but we will have a list of things that we're going to work on over the next couple of months in order to establish those SOPs or cut some of those subscriptions or change tools or whatever the thing is. Or maybe sometimes it's hiring, right? Sometimes your operational cleanup is, gosh, I really need a human for this thing, right? So that's the other part. Day 5, momentum triggers. This is launch day, right? We move on day 5, right? We make all those changes that we've just gone over and we've reevaluated ourselves. We move before this thing is over. So momentum is really, really, really hard to stop. If you can get it going and then keep it going, way easier to keep the ball rolling uphill, right? If it's already rolling, I can still kick it uphill and it'll move a whole lot faster and I can get it out in front of me more if the thing's already moving. A lot harder to get it started from a standstill and keep it going and then like get it to keep going, right? You want some momentum in the business. It's the same thing when you're succeeding in business. If you can start winning, it is way easier to continue winning than if you let up on the gas pedal and you just, let her come to a stop. It takes a whole lot more energy to get going again. So we utilize day 5 as what are we starting today? Right? So that means ClickUp tasks go up. We start planning content for the following month. We start executing on that year's plan. These are all things that we've started in each piece, right? Our strategy meeting in the summer is great. That's a great place that we utilize to pull that information and do this activity. The next thing that we do is in like October, right? We plan out our full year's worth of content in October. There's a whole podcast about that, showing you how we're doing it, how we're laying it out, what are some of the things we're thinking of, and how can we get ahead of this beast so that it's not a monster on go time, right? We're not planning February content on February 1st. Momentum, and then how can we take this thing and keep it rolling rather than letting it stall out, then having to catch up to it and kick it down the road again, right? This is something that I think a lot of small businesses really struggle with is you start to get success and you're like, I'm successful. And you like let up a little bit. And when you let up and the ball starts slowing down and you don't start kicking it fast enough, you lose a lot of that momentum. So let me just go over this really quick. So and I'm going to put this file, it's going to be a downloadable. Yes, you'll have to put your email in. It's only because I'm going to send you more content on this later on, right? So if you, in the link below, if you're on our website, if you click the link below and you sign up to get this form into your inbox, I'm going to send you follow-up content over the next year or so, checking in with you. That's not going to be spam content. I'm not putting you on a daily email newsletter. Don't worry about it. It's going to be check-ins for you to see, have you really looked back at this form and can it continue to be beneficial? Secondarily, we're also going to have an offer in there to help with some strategic planning for your marketing needs, right? So if you are behind for 2026 or you need to get rolling on Q2, Q3, Q4 of 2026, we're doing like a small offer. It's going to be discounted from what we normally would do in order to help you strategically on your marketing end, right? So this is a meeting. We spend some time. We go over your business. I want to get to know you and your business. Where are the pain points? Where are things going? What are your goals for 2026? And then how can we look at what you're doing now and adjust it, right? Or maybe add to it or whatever. How can we really get the ball rolling for you so that it's a lot easier for 2027 to be a continual momentum year for you? So that's going to be at a discount from what we normally do our strategy sessions at. So we're going to do that offer in only if you sign up to grab this form. But in the form, here we go. Day 1, this is again, lock the direction day. This is a visioning day. This is us looking for it. What we're really looking for, and I'm reading off of the form just a little bit here, is to create one clear focus that everyone on the team can repeat, right? So it's going to be things like revenue targets. What is the top line? What is the margin? What does it look like to win in 2026 or whatever year you're doing this for your company? You're also going to do things like ideal client. You're going to talk about how they use you. You're going to talk about what problems you're solving. You're going to look at your core offers. You're going to look at what winning looks like. If you're sitting at December 31st, 2026, you pop open this form, you read what winning looked like, you go, yeah, I did that. Is that a win for you? We're going to talk some about naming what the one growth lever is, right? We're going to focus on one major change, right? Some people call this North Star. What is the one lever that I'm going to pull in 2026 or my fiscal business year, fiscal business year, what is it going to look like for me in 2026? And what is that growth lever that I'm pulling? What are some things we're not offering in 2026? What's some things that we've been doing that maybe just aren't serving us? Is that people? Is that services? What are the things that are just draining us and our team and just a time suck, right? I had a mentor who said, the way that you know if a project is going to win, if it is, and this is service business primarily, but you could do this on products as well, right? Does it take you less time? Does it cause fewer problems? Can you make more money doing it, right? Can you make a better margin? So less time, no problems, more money. That's what we're looking for, right? So what we are not doing is almost as critical as what we are doing. Day 2, sharpen the offer. So in this day, you're going to create a picture so that anyone on your team can explain what it is that you do in one breath, right? I need a 30-second elevator pitch, however you want to put this together, right? So this is a sales day. This is focused. This is sales focused, right? So we are not talking about your mission statement. We're not talking about your business summary. I'm talking about what is your offer and does everybody understand it? So you're going to define 2 to 3 packages for your business. This particularly says retainer packages, but you could change this as what 2 or 3 products am I going to focus on primarily in my year, right? Creating simple pricing philosophies, updating why we're different, right? What is it about you that makes you, what is it about your business that is different, that people care about, right? What emotional story, what community connection can you utilize over the next year in order to create something that people want to come to, right? There's 100 t-shirt brands out there. There's a billion, 100 million maybe t-shirt brands, right? There's a billion boot brands. There's a ton of them, right? What actually makes one more successful than the other? Sure, there's some piece there on quality, right? But maybe it's on price partially, right? But God, you're not winning on quality and you're not winning on price. You're winning on story. So that's really what we're doing there. Day 3, authority and inbound. This is a visibility day. Okay, what are we doing then with our vision, with our sales pitch to get people to know who we are? How are we outreach? What outreach are we doing? How are we going to generate inquiries in the next 12 calendar months in order to get to that win marker that we put in day 1? Right. So this is going to be your quarter 1 from the time that you do this thought planning, right? And you should plan really all 4 quarters. You're going to talk about things like, maybe you're going to start a podcast. What is the thing that you're going to do that's going to create value, that is how you're going to really determine how you're drawing and attracting people, right? How are you going to tell that story that you determined on? This says what's the hill we're going to die on, right? In 2026, what is the thing that we are going to focus on so much that people know who they're coming to, right? Day 4, operational cleanup. This is a great day. These are things like, what are the things that are currently on your executive team's plate? What are some things on their plates now that needs to not be on their plates by the end of Q1 in order to meet Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and yearly goals? What are some of the things that you need to move? Maybe what are some of the things you need to take back too? You can think about that as well. We're going to document these things, right? Anything that you're trying to move, you want to document. You want to try to make some SOPs for that. You want to try to delegate them. What are those things? What are the 3 non-negotiables that each executive is going to keep in their court, right? That's got to be yours. The other non-negotiables that you're going to look at too for the business as a whole, not executive by executive, is like the max number of clients, or what is the capacity of products that we can really sell, right? What is the SKU count that makes sense for me? It really depends on how you look at it for your company, right? Are you product or you service? Really determine what your max load is before you've got to hire or make an internal change. Day 5, this goes into momentum. So this is the day that we start moving on all this, right? You're going to pre-write a bunch of content for your personal LinkedIns. You're going to work on a lot of exposure and outreach thing. You're going to set some goals of where are we going to show up physically within the market. Maybe it's Western English Style Association. Maybe it's the NFR. Maybe it's SHOT Show. I don't know, whatever it is. So you're going to determine what that is. You're going to get those on the schedule now so that your executive team is already planning on showing up. However it is that you've determined that you're going to be visible within the industry to meet all the goals that you set the days before that, That is the things that you're going to be planning here. So you'll be scheduling January stuff and beyond. We should really be working or month one stuff, right? If you're not starting this in January. How are you going to utilize your own people in order to attract new customers and meet these growth goals as a business owner, right? We are all in this to make some money. No one goes into business to not make money, but we also are here for a lot of other whys. For us, that's being a people first team, right? That's growing our own internal people. That is helping our customers succeed. That is creating a community that cares. That is really building strong relationships for people. So that's kind of what we're doing there. So that's what you're going to do in day 5. Day 5 is really, how am I starting this right now? What am I going to do today, tomorrow, for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that I can then catch up and go beyond that? But what am I doing today in order to get this started? You may not be into this one. I struggle with this one a little bit, but you're also going to choose a word for the year that it is that you are working on, right? I struggle with this. This is not really a thing that I would say is in my nature, but I think that aligning on a word as an executive team is something that you can continue to refer back to and really summarize this whole document, right? What is it that we are doing? What lever are we pulling? How are we achieving that? And what were all of these goals summed into one word? So some of the examples on the form are leverage, focus, authority, depth. Those are some of those, right? And then what are the top 3 mindset shifts that are going to allow us to actually achieve the goals that we put in this document and win on the last day of whatever the year is that you've planned this out, right? If you're planning this February 1st, what am I going to sit January 31st, 2027 and say, yeah, we won over the last fiscal year, right? Or for us, it's going to be December 31st, right? Because we do this leading up to the new year. So you're going to come together and say, okay, what are we really saying? What are the 3 things we are committing to in order to say, yeah, we succeeded in this year? So that's kind of the overview of the form. I'm going to put this in, like I said, a downloadable. There's going to be an email, or it'll be an email deal. It'll send you an automated email with the form. It'll tell you how to make a copy of it and create a form for you, so that you can utilize this year after year. Would highly encourage you to not overwrite these, but rather duplicate and make a copy. It's going to be in a Google Doc. I'll send you a PDF too. So you'll have a Google Doc option or you'll have a PDF option. The Google Doc one will be a form, so you'll need to do a duplicate copy of it basically. And you'll save it to your own Google Drive, or you can do a PDF form, right? I think that this is critically important. Like I said, I got a lot of people asking questions about this process as I was going through it on LinkedIn and explaining what it is that we do. And really feel like this should be put out there for other mid to small size businesses that need to really align their executive team. I think this is a great executive team retreat topic too. So if you're doing a retreat with your executive team, maybe this is the thing that you utilize to organize your days, right? I would encourage you to spend a day on each one of these pieces, particularly if you've got a large executive team. Spend some time thinking about this. We do this virtually, right? So we do a shared Google Doc. We all are working on it throughout our day for the last 5 days of the year. So there's different ways of doing this, but I think that it can be utilized in a lot of really good ways. Okay. I told you this was going to be a short episode. We're here at 23 minutes. I've talked too much already. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this up, go to our website, go to the blog post for this podcast, right? So if you're not already watching on our website, go to our website. You can see the most recent podcast, this episode podcast. And let's see, this is episode 5, I believe, for 2026. So our season 2, you can go to that podcast, scroll down. There's going to be a downloadable section, right? That is going to give you a sign up for an email, and then it will trigger an automated email to you to send you this form. Like I said, we're also going to put in there an offer for strategic planning for your marketing side. So if you need just a fresh set of eyes somebody who maybe is not quite so close to the data, to just take a look at what is it that we've been doing, what could we be doing, and maybe what's not serving us anymore from a marketing standpoint, so that I can have that momentum that we're talking about in this forum, right? So you're going to get the forum, you'll get an offer from us as far as doing strategic planning from a marketing perspective for your company. Like I said, it's at a discounted rate only if you sign up for this forum. Then in 6 months, right, I'm going to check in with y'all. So August 1st, you're going to get an email for that list, right? This is a specific list. You're not signing up for daily emails. We're not doing anything crazy like that. But in 6 months, I want to check in with you and say, hey, have you looked at that form? Did you fill it out? If you filled it out, are you meeting it? How's it going? Right? And then in a year, February 1st, 2027, you'll get one more email from me and that says, hey, hope you redid it for 2027, right? Or for your next fiscal year, whenever you download this. Maybe you're not watching this right when we release it, but you'll get a check-in from us a year from whenever you download this. And it's just basically going to say, hey, did you reuse that form? How did it help you in the last year? Did you meet those goals? Let's help you celebrate it. Also, what are some things that you're going to do in the next year that's going to take all those things and make those goals even bigger, right? So this podcast, I realize, is a little more business focused than typical. I think that these solo ones are probably going to be that. You're hearing from an 18 plus year founder, operator, somebody who really struggled through the trenches, and on it, quite frankly, entrepreneurship, you continue to struggle with a new problem every day, right? But I have 18 years experience running businesses for myself, running creative teams, running or in leadership, and working in multiple industries, right? We have a lot of knowledge here that we've developed over 18 years to really make a secret sauce for how are we going to succeed each year, and how are we not just flying by the seat of our pants and hoping at the end of the year we have margin, right? How are we making sure that we're actually making money every year? So, and meeting the goals from a vision perspective and making things better, making life better for us as ownership and our team, right? So, gonna put this up on our podcast. Let me know if you liked it. I would love to see how you guys are utilizing this. If you have questions, email us. You can respond to the email that this will come to you in. So you can just push reply if you've got a question, or if you want to schedule one of those strategy sessions. So hopefully this is helpful. We'll see you next week.